We are the nerds. We are the nerds of the apocalypse.
All right. Hello again. I'm Bennett Tarr, member of Nerds of the Apocalypse. We are a local podcast group. We're in charge of the videography for this panel. We got our setup right over there. Today, this is the Walking Dead panel, and with me we got some actors from The Walking Dead, W.F. Bell and Tommy Hughes.
That's it.
All right. And they played saviors on the show, I believe. I think I remember you from the episode on the train tracks. There was like a train track ambush. And which savior scene were you? Were you part of the lineup with the Lucille
I
kill?
was a leader. The first time you see me, they didn't really get a good zoomed in shot, but I was the leader of the very first roadblock, or the biggest roadblock they ran into. We were all stretched across the road. The first time you actually see my mug, though, is when we roll out of the woods and Simon tells them we're going to be taking your weapons now. I was the last one to interact with Abraham before stuff. So, yeah, I'm that guy. So don't kill me when I exit the room. And then I've appeared in episodes 1, 4, 7, 8, and 16 for episode 7, and we're still currently shooting now. So I can't really give you any episode information for season 8, obviously. So. Just roll with an introduction then. And Tommy, I saw that you were also still filming season 7 right now, or you're involved with it in some capacity.
Partially. Yeah.
What about or season 8? What about season 7? Where were you involved with episode wise?
I got my start in season 6. Same night, and he got it's pretty awesome. It was one of our first nights on the show. He got to interact with Abraham, and I got to interact with one of my heroes of the show, Eugene, because he's a normal guy. He's how a normal person would react to a zombie apocalypse. He would cry. But yeah, as they're lining him up and they're taking Maggie off of the stretcher to help her kneel, I was the savior that snatches Eugene from his knees, lines him up with everyone else, and shoves him down on the ground.
Oh, sweet.
Yep.
All right. So first off, what is it like working with the directors, the crew, and the actors, specifically Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Andrew Lincoln, and guy who plays Trevor on in GTA 5.
Yep.
He's on The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Ogg, I believe his name is. What's it like working with those guys?
Well,
or getting to watch them work?
For me, it's almost like taking an advanced acting class. I mean, you're seeing guys that have been doing this for a really long time. And, you have some that are method actors. It's not really my lane to go into who does what as far as like how they get into character and stuff. But, you've got, like Andrew Lincoln, he's a classically trained British actor. So, this guy knows what he's doing. And to see him maintain that level of performance is amazing. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's kind of a flip the switch kind of guy. He'll be talking to you like we're doing now. And camera's up, rolling, boom, there he is, so that's kind of cool to see that. But you get to kind of see, how each of them, prepare and things like that. Some can flip the switch, some can, they have to keep that character the entire time. We're not really allowed to interact with them while we're on set unless we're chosen to handle one of them. Like I got to talk with Michael Cudlitz quite a bit because, we were, my job was to take his weapons from him, and of course, I get out there thinking it was going to be smooth. I got this, and the snaps were bent and had dirt in them, and so I've got like his jacket lifted up, and I'm doing all this crazy stuff, and I don't think he was too impressed with my performance at that point. So after about the 4th time, though, I was smooth. So, but yeah, as far as the directors and stuff, they do a good job of bringing us into the scene and telling us what they expect and what they need to see and everything. So everybody out there, it's they're extremely professional. They're trying to get it done. They're trying to give you guys a high quality program like they've been doing for the past 7 seasons, and it's not going to be any different for season 8. So.
Nicotero sees and knows everything. He does. He asked my name once when they selected me to work with Josh McDermott or Eugene, and he still knows it. So,
yeah, he doesn't forget much.
And it's,
let's see. Most of the stuff that they film over in Atlanta is like Vampire Diaries, the originals, Sleepy Hollow. I've been on MacGyver twice. I did the Tupac movie that just came out, All Eyes on Me. I got to do a prison riot scene there that they didn't even put into the movie, so that's kind of irritating because that was brutal.
I got cut too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could see me. It just didn't show the action shot that I need for stunt credit. So, yeah, that's kind of the break. So, you go through a bunch of takes on stuff, and sometimes it makes it, sometimes it doesn't. It was a good time, though. It was learned a lot. You learn something new with each set that you go to because you get a different director, different, production assistants and stuff. So. I actually just signed with an agent 2 days ago. So I gave him the stuff that I'm interested in, and I'm going to let him go fishing. Specifically Stranger Things, Game of Thrones, and Westworld.
Nice.
So we will see how that goes. That is not a quote saying that I've been selected for any of those. That is simply saying that I put it out there to him, and hopefully he can make it happen. So, and then obviously I'll have to do what I got to do to get in there as well. Oh, at the Kingdom, Fort McPherson. Have you done anything up there?
One day.
Okay.
Actually, 18 hours.
Actually, I've been up there twice. My oldest son, is actually part of the Kingdom. He's part of the little archery crew. He's the only little redheaded dude out there. So, yeah, he got some pretty good screen time. I was kind of jealous of him. So, no, he enjoys going out there. But yeah, he was out there. He was in the same scene with Greg Nicotero's son, actually. So they were out there doing the bows and arrows, and he was spectating because he was in the younger crew. But yeah, so I've done 2 days up there, just as his chaperone. So I'm not really sure how many total days they've done so far. It's a cool little scene though up there. What's that?
A lot.
Yes.
My God, the heat.
Yeah, there's something different about Central Georgia heat.
How are y'all still alive after filming most of the show during the months of May through September in Georgia?
Well, that's a funny story. See, when William and I were first there, we pretty much had the same schedule for the first week or so shooting. We showed up in, was it mid to late November, early November?
The first time, yeah, and it was nice and cool out.
Yeah,
rainy,
North Georgia swamp. It was the last night it got down to 20 degrees. But they said, guys, you're dressing for, was it Virginia, that area? Mm-hmm. You're dressing for a mid-Virginia spring, so no shivering when the camera's rolling. But the funny thing is, they give us these jackets. William had a leather jacket, I believe. I had a light windbreaker. That was fine. It kept us pretty warm. But then we come back in May, and we're wearing these same layers.
Oh, yeah.
And on top of that, we're having to go into Alexandria, which is surrounded by all that lovely aluminum, which reflects sunlight. So we went from November getting frostbite, some of us getting sick, to having extreme sunburn and heat exhaustion, filming the exact same scene where it picked up where season 6 left off.
But what was amazing, though, is it was still cold out during the night scene when they recreated the execution scene. You could still see your breath. It wasn't quite as cold. It was probably about, 40 or so. But, yeah, to caveat off that, once we pushed into the daytime, once he took Rick out and brought him back and stuff, yeah, in between takes while we were sitting over in the woods waiting, I actually got bit by a tick that was carrying Lyme. So, yeah, I'm rocking the Lyme right now, but I got the antibiotics in time and stuff. And the day after I came off of 21 days of that, it was episode 4 where we were standing on the surface of the sun when we first entered Alexandria. So it was nice and cool out, little crisp.
I think they do a lot of that on purpose because we're supposed to look mean and emotionless. So some of these weather conditions, we don't really have to do much method acting. We're pretty much pissed off by the time we get to interact.
We're already there. Already there. Yeah, it's good though. I mean, I wouldn't trade the opportunity. I love it. The grosser
awesome.
is better.
It's like I referred to William and a few other of my buddies. We hang out. I said it's like getting paid to go to a Comic-Con because you're sitting there and you get to work with your heroes, and you get to see all this awesome makeup. And I got to watch them create sunlight at midnight. That was pretty awesome. They had one scene and they ran out of daylight, and they were pushing, so they built this big light rig, and by midnight they had it finished. But when they shot the scene, it looked like
daytime.
It was noon.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing is watching them eat.
The walkers, yeah.
Watching the walkers eat because they don't take any of that prosthetic off. They're sitting there, so I mean, they're trying to articulate and move around and stuff. I was like, man, I don't know. Cool. Bless your heart. No wonder y'all are so thin because it took them like a month to get one bite down.
Yeah, I tried to be a walker on the show once. I applied like 4 times, and every single time they're like, "All right, you need to have like a size 32 waist or smaller." I'm like,
"Oh, that's a big one."
I'm gone. I'm done. I can't. And I'm always like, maybe I can get that. Maybe I can just try not eating at all for like a year straight, and I can finally get on my favorite show, Walking Dead. And then by 2 months until they start casting the walkers, I'm like, I'm not going to be a walker. I'm not even. I mean, my best chance is to be like an actual person on that show, and that's even harder. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been asked before, so are you a walker on the show? I was like, I would be the most successful walker in the history of The Walking Dead. I'd be the hybrid walker that, like, eats other walkers. You know, because, I mean, you don't maintain this kind of thickness in the apocalypse without having some skills.
You'd be like the boss walker, after, like, Rick's killed, like, 4, like, just, like, regular walkers, like, suddenly you show up and, like, he's like, oh, hell, like...
We got to get out the big skillet for this one. God, he was too big. Come on, I've been working on it. You know, it's the vest. It looks like a lampshade.
So have y'all, you guys either created like a history or like a name for your savior characters?
No, I just enjoy the moment. I mean, just the fact that you can go home. As a matter of fact, my daughter, because I get the email that night. I didn't know. I just put in for a job. They said they needed big, hairy biker dudes. They didn't tell me what it was for. So I just got through shooting actually with William. We were shooting a night scene for Vampire Diaries. It was raining. I got in. It was cold. I had an email waiting at the house saying this is for The Walking Dead. So everyone in my house that was asleep found out quickly. So it's just the fact that, you know, just being a savior, I'm honored. I don't have to have a character name. I'm just a savior.
Oh, I mean, like just like doing it for like yourself. Like, I mean, like it doesn't like have to like be like credited like that. Like, but like just like randomly like. Just like you could like call yourself Chuck, and then like you could like think like, all right, what did Chuck do today? Like he's sitting around watching Negan kill people, but how does Chuck feel about this? Is he like is he okay with it? Like does he only do it just because he needs like food, or does he like really enjoy this? Like does he really believe with the Negan?
Self-sustaining. Yeah. Avoiding getting the bat. That would be my objective.
So, yeah.
Self-preservation. That's what it's about.
We can sum up the character name in 3 words. We've heard this a million times. We are Negan.
Well,
so,
that's who I am. That's what I'm about. So that's our character name, Negan. So are all of you.
I mean, I think out of habit, now I kneel every time Jeffrey Dean Morgan goes by, whether we're shooting or not. I must have kneeled probably 30 or 40 times. So.
Like even when you're not shooting, you kneel for him?
It's just habit.
And like, is he cool with it? Like, does he notice? Like, or does
sometimes he laughs. Sometimes it's just they're like one big happy family, man. So, you know, as long as you don't overstep your boundaries, they're pretty cool folks. Yeah.
Awesome. I once when I was stalking, watching them film. I didn't break into anything. I was at a public road and they were filming inside Alexandria. The gates were open and they were filming that scene where Spencer does his little climbing thing where he climbs over the walkers to try and get help or whatever he was doing. And Morgan, the guy who plays Morgan, Lenny James, he was just walking and he just saw me with my camera and he was just like, and like it took me like 2 seconds to process it, and then I was like, "Hey!" Then he was just like, he just pretended he didn't like see me. He just like, he just like started walking off. Like I scared him off. Like all I had to do was just wave back, and I just saw Morgan waving at me. And
froze, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, like this is my hero, like, or one of my heroes. Like, I mean, I just it's so easy to forget, like they're just normal people, and like they're just doing their job, and but they're doing what they love.
Yeah.
But like that's the only interaction I've ever had with any of the people who Lenny James or Andrew Lincoln, Norman Reedus. I'm hoping to go to a Walker Stalker Con one day.
Get there early. Those lines are stupid.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Have any of you gone to Walker Stalker?
There is. That's the biggest one. Yeah, that's the biggest one. And there's one in Charlotte in December.
Yeah, Atlanta's like the mega Walker Stalker, though. So, well, they got their stuff together. I mean,
they're better playing Southerners than actual Southerners.
That's right.
That's a possibility. I mean, Yeah, I don't know. It took me forever. It blew my mind the first time I heard an interview with Andrew Lincoln. And he started talking. I was like, well, who's this guy? Like, no, that's not Rick. No, he's British. I was like, wow, awesome. Nope. You come in here and you do this and you do this and you do this. Nothing more, nothing less.
Everybody has their job.
Everybody has a job.
One extra guy, they actually he didn't get in bad trouble, but they corrected him because one of the PAs was carrying set chairs and there was too many for her. She dropped one. He went to help her. She said, no, that's not your job. You can't pick that up. They're very strict about that.
Yeah, it's a pecking order. So.
Yes, set safety is very important when it comes to production of film and television. It was very unfortunate to hear during this season's production that a stuntman, unfortunately, he lost his life during the production, filming one day. I think it was about July. That was a month.
It was a month or so ago,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
It was very unfortunate to hear that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the milder stunts we noticed, it impressed William and I, we talked about it, was a lot of the shoving and falling you saw in the season 6 finale, it was the actors. I was very impressed, especially with...
They didn't have body doubles.
Norman Reedus was getting shoved around on this gravel and this rocks with his little sleeveless shirt on, and his elbows were bloody, and he just kept going. Yep. They're a tough group of people.
Yeah. That's I was telling somebody this story earlier. This isn't Walking Dead, but I was also in Rob Zombie's 31. That was the very first set I actually worked in 31, his latest movie. So I was chosen to roll up one of his main characters. Yep, I didn't realize they fought you back for real. Since I was a kid, and I've watched, all the way from old school westerns and them fighting and doing all this stuff. I was like, okay, so it's pantomime. I got it. So I was asking, well, how do you want me to roll this dude up? He's like, well, if you were going to do it in real life, how would you do it? And I was like, well, I'd bust in and I'd do this, this, and this. And he's like, okay, then do that, that, and that. All right, got it, fair enough. And action, boom. We tear into the little back there. He was in the back of an RV. So dude in front of me busts in, and he takes the other person back there, and I go to get hold of my guy. He grabs me by the shirt and snatches me down. So, of course, I'm in this crazy mask, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing, dude? And, he's fighting for his life, and I got this big old blade, and I was like, man, I'm a little confused on how to improv this at this point. So when they called cut, I pulled up the mask. I was like, man, what are you doing? He's like, I can't fake struggle. It's got to be a real tussle with you. Because you got to show, the veins and the neck and the temples and stuff, like he's really fighting for his life. So I was like, all right, well, now that I know that, I'm coming for you. So they rolled action again, and I got in there on him, and I smashed him that time. And he's grunting and groaning and stuff. I had him good. I thought I physically hurt him. So they call cut again, and I pull up the mask. Dude, are you okay? He's like, perfect. Do that every time. And I was like, man, I just rolled you hard. And he was like, nope, perfect. We have to do it like that every time. And I tell you, man, I was after doing that, for several takes, I was huffing and puffing like the big bad wolf. I was like, man, air breathing right back into your face after wearing that for a period of time. I was like, whew. So yeah, when you see him tussling and grappling and stuff, it's a real deal. And occasionally you slip and get punched or kicked or whatever, but you try to avoid that kind of stuff. But yeah, most of the time you're dealing the punishment. So.
I'm content, honestly. If it were to end tomorrow, they say you're gone. No, I'm happy. Every day going on that set, that's like one of, the zombie genre has been my favorite since I could walk. So it's just being a part of it.
Yeah,
I'm content with what they've done with me.
I think I'm a little above and beyond what he's thinking of, though, because I want to go on the full theme park type package for The Walking Dead. I want to get killed by a main character, preferably like beheaded by Michonne or something cool. Well, maybe not fully beheaded, because I still want to be able to function. Then I want to be able to bite a main character or take one of them out. But I want to, yeah. At a panel I did a couple of months ago, I got booed pretty hard for this one. I was like, well, I need to be remembered, so I want to kill the tiger. I was like, I want to take out Shiva, and same reaction. Like, he said he wanted to hurt the animal. Yeah, so I'm going to take that CGI tiger, snap that neck. How you like that? Not really. I actually like tigers a lot, but it's all for the sake of executing the script, is what I'm saying. So that would be cool. But yeah, so at some point I'd like to be a walker. I think it'd be kind of cool. You know, you think so? I'd be the most successful walking dead. Oh.
You're alive and you scare me, man.
Hey, come on, man.
All right. Do we have any? How many of y'all would like it to be asking a question to one of these fine gentlemen? Okay. Do you want to just pick and choose from the audience, or do you want to have like?
You know what? You moderate. You choose.
Okay.
My vision's terrible, so.
Okay. Show of hands again. All right. Let's start right here.
Not for like, it's open casting for us because there's so many that they need usually, but there's a lot of us that are actually pursuing SAG. It's called Screen Actors Guild. It's a hierarchy of how they choose you for certain things. I mean, they'll run you right up to the limit, but it becomes a different pay scale essentially. You know, that's why you don't see a lot of us talk. You know, because all of a sudden that goes from, you know, making a few bucks an hour to now we got to pay this dude like, you know, 900 bones a day.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, they can tell the story without having us running our mouth. But yeah, it's knowing what to look for during the casting calls because it's very vague. They won't tell you where, they won't tell you for who, they won't tell you. They'll just say we need a big, hairy guy with a beard and long hair, and you apply for it, and then they say, okay, so here's the deal. You know.
It's
Facebook pages.
Facebook Casting Atlanta. That's the name of the
Facebook pages. Yeah.
There's a big page in Georgia that I used a lot before Facebook became the prominent source. It was called the Southern Casting Call. It handles extras, featured, all the way up to speaking roles for all the southern states from Virginia, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Tennessee, everywhere.
All right. I think you are. You right there on the Negan, dressed as Negan with Lucille, and then you.
Did you get anything? I got a little bit of fan mail.
Well, at the end of season 6, I really didn't get anything because nobody knew. Not even us Saviors knew who was going to get it. But the night the episode aired, I was actually working. During the Halloween season, I do haunted house acting. This is a hobby. So I get a text message on my phone, and it's my kid. She's watching the season 7 premiere, and she says, "I hate you."
That's pretty good.
And then 2 minutes later, my wife says, "2? Really? Asshole?"
Yeah, I just got a few random messages on my little actor page there, you know, hashtag saviors or a-holes, stuff like that, you know, and then they block me, so I can't even respond. I can't even defend myself. I was like, I didn't pick him. You know, Abraham was one of my favorite characters. I didn't choose him. If it was me, I would have taken out Eugene. You know, I'm just saying, that's who I would have picked.
They made it look like it was going to be Eugene, like the season 6 finale. Like they had like him like going off in the RV, like
setting the stage that he's finally, you know, getting brave enough to do some stuff. Yeah, you know, I could have probably bought off on that.
But no, like they were like, no, just kidding. Like he is literally going to not only he's going to go back to being a total coward, he's going to be a traitor. He's going to be Negan, basically. So he's got to work his way back up. Oh yeah.
We got all the good stuff.
He's got on Easy Street.
We got an Atari. We got reruns of Who's the Boss. So it ain't so bad. I mean, really, think about it. Does Alexandria have all that stuff? No. At least not that we've seen. Or did we take that from them, too?
I don't remember.
You probably burned them.
What's funny was after our episode aired, I got into this habit of making the little South Park page where you can make your own characters. And I made myself and William just South Park characters with our Savior's outfit, with our weapons, and then all of a sudden I start getting requests. And what became 2 people in a picture now is a big row of Saviors on mine and William's Facebook pages there. And when Eugene finally joined us, you know, William had a rifle, I had a crowbar. When I made Eugene as a Savior, I put a pickle in his hand.
It's perfect.
They need to make they still haven't made a pop figure for Eugene yet, but when they do, they need to give him a jar of pickles. I feel like, I mean, that'll just like seal it.
Absolutely, a pickle and a megaphone.
Yeah. You got a question, sir?
Season or scenes? Not to sound like an impartial a-hole, but 6 and 7.
I think that's when the Savior showed up, isn't it?
Yes. I actually like those in reference to, compared to the seasons the Governor was there, because Rick is going into this Negan thing, I feel. We're going to meet Negan and we're going to kill him. But then he finds out quickly Negan is nothing like the Governor at all. So that's what I really like. I like to compare season 6 and 7 to how Rick was trying to handle him as how he handled the Governor. Two totally different people with two totally different methods.
Yeah, in all fairness, though, they kind of, I don't know, do any of you read the comic, the Walking Dead comic? A couple of you? Okay. Well, then you know that they watered the Governor down pretty hard for the show.
Sad.
A lot of his stuff was implied, but, I mean, because I love the Governor in the comic, I was like, man, this guy is no joke. He comes out the gate cutting people's hands off, Rick. So you see his comic character, and he's got a hook. And to me, that was I was like, wow. So when they introduced him on the show, I was pretty excited about that. I was like, all right, cool. This guy's going to be, the real deal Holyfield. And no, not so much. I mean, like I said, a lot of his stuff was implied, but then that was my fear for the introduction to Negan. I was like, man, if they do him like the Governor, this is going to be not the same. But yeah, once we got out there and started shooting, and what's interesting, I don't know if you guys know this, if you have the season 6 on Blu-ray, but we actually had to shoot dual script for Jeffrey. Because he was, we do the AMC dialogue first, then we had to do it for the Blu-ray. In the Blu-ray, he is completely unfiltered. He is, as you read him in the comic, he uses lots of F-bombs.
Don't they call that the F-take?
F-take.
Yeah. So, and it is loaded with it. And it changes the demeanor of the scene a little bit, It seemed almost like he's more like poking him in the chest, when they actually take him off the leash and let him start spewing the filth. So, yeah, I'm not sure if they're doing that for season 7 or not.
Yeah, it just came out on Blu-ray. I was going to pick it up the other day, but one of my friends of mine told me there wasn't any. They didn't do that for the episodes that Negan was in. They had extended and deleted scenes, but they didn't have that. So I'm not sure if they're saving it, waiting for like an exclusive edition or something like that, or they.
It's possible, or it might have just been for his introduction. I don't know.
Yeah,
they do all sorts of cool promo things.
Maybe it's just me, but they kind of let him go this season. There wasn't much editing with the whole interaction with Rick after they left Alexandria the first time. That was pretty unfiltered.
Yeah. Well, that's why that episode was longer too, because they have a certain amount of things that they can say during certain times of night, and it was after 10 p.m. when he started saying all the stuff to Rick. So, they actually have like a little rubric they have to follow of, how many, damn, shit, hell, all that fun stuff that they can say. So, yeah. Anybody else? Anything?
In the back right there.
Can you tell how the production goes about preventing leaks on the set and off the set? What you guys are?
Very large fines and possible jail time because it's considered grand theft after so much material is stolen.
Yeah, it's considered intellectual property, so it's you won't catch any of us leaking anything.
I've heard the season they're filming right now. They've I've heard from a lot of people online that there's hardly any spoilers like getting out for this season. Like back during season 6, I think there was like people all the time on my Facebook feed, like a week or two before the episode, they would be like posting like a synopsis of like all the spoilers like a couple weeks before, because Spoiling Dead fans, these guys based in Atlanta, some of them, they knew someone who was feeding them information or like just snippets of stuff, and they were like posting it for people to see, sometimes even months in advance. Like the scene where in season 6, I think they talked to some of the extras when Carl got his eye shot out, and so they like got that entire episode like basically from the extras, because they hired so many extras for that scene.
I don't think it was an extra.
Huh?
I don't think it was an extra, to be honest with you, because some of that stuff, not all of us would be there for.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
You know, because the way they film some of that stuff, you're not going to be there for every single bit of it. So, because I know what you're talking about. I don't subscribe to that page, but sometimes stuff, you know, people like friends of mine will share it, and I'll read it like, hey, what is this? I started reading it, and after it aired, it kind of pissed me off, to be honest with you, because I was like, how does this person know this much detail?
Yeah.
And they blasted it out like, okay, now he's going to do this, now he's going to do this, now he's going to do this.
Yeah.
And it was verbatim. Not even kidding.
Yeah.
So, and I don't speak for anybody else, you know, on the show, but I can only speak for myself. I think it's kind of, I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's kind of BS that people try to ruin the story ahead of time. You know, because, I mean, we're, you know, extras included, you know, we're out there 14, 15, sometimes 16 hours a day roasting, trying to provide this, and you got people sitting up in trees in the middle of Main Street in Sonoy with telephoto lenses. Because we actually, the first time we showed up at Alexandria, there was like 5 or 6 pictures that were put out on social media of us because they had to move us from one side to the other. And as we were coming out, we were still armed and everything.
Oh, man.
And by midnight, it was shared like a couple of thousand times. Yeah. It was all over the planet, like quick. It went viral quick. You know, I appreciate the free publicity, but man, come on. You know, then they actually had pictures of confirming Rick was still alive, confirming Daryl was still alive.
Yeah, people were able to, like, if like you actually went online, they kept it out of the trailers, which was great. But like, if you went online and just like saw filming, you would be like, okay, pretty much. I've seen everybody except Glenn and Abraham, but one of them has to be alive, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I think I don't like spoilers personally. I don't mind waiting. You know, because, I mean, if you think about it, it's based off of a comic book. You're going to have cliffhangers. You have to wait till the next issue, right? I don't know. I think a lot of people get the Netflix mentality. I just want to watch it all. You need to tell me now. No, not really. You can wait like everybody else. Be patient. Trust me, it'll be worth it when you watch it. So that's just my own personal opinion of it. You know, you might disagree completely, but, you know, that's you.
We knew who they were going to kill at the beginning of season 7, and we had to wait till October, and it was still just as exciting to watch. It was. I'm
going to be honest with you. The takes I was out there for, I was puzzled the entire time. I was still confused. I was like, okay, that one got it. That one got it. That one got it. And I was like, all right, now they're just messing with us. You know, but yeah, we saw all of them get cracked at one point in time or another. So, I mean, I was kind of clueless, to be honest with you. Maybe I just was tired and wasn't putting 2 and 2 together. But, yeah, it was still cool to watch. Anybody else? Crickets?
Right here.
Ooh, good question.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm kind of a loyalist myself. I'm Negan. So, yes, sir. See, that's the attitude right there. Honestly, I got a cool story about that. I actually, before I even filmed anything, I met Robert Kirkman in December of 2014. He was at a book signing in Sonoy. And at the time I was living in North Carolina, so I drove about 7.5 hours each way for a 30-second conversation. And I got in front of him, and I'm standing there, and I was just going to get an autograph, and, you know, nice to meet you, love your work type stuff. And something in my head was saying, say something to him, dummy. I didn't know how the casting thing worked at the time. So I was just like, hey, you know, I want to network with you real quick. He's like, all right, what you got? I was like, well, when and if it comes time for Negan and the Saviors, I want to throw my hat in the ring to be one of the Saviors. He's like, well, you got the look for it. You know, I was like, can I give you one of my business cards? He's like, yes, sir. So I gave that to him. Feedback was positive. He has nothing to do with casting, you know, except for maybe some of the bigger ones, I don't know. But, yeah, so 11 months, almost 11 months to the day, I was on set as a Savior after I put it out to him. So you just got to ask for stuff sometimes, you know. Even if he doesn't have a direct hand in it, you just got to keep pushing. You know, network enough times. I mean, because I applied. I'm kind of thankful I didn't get picked up all the times I applied, because I would have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been either blown up on a motorcycle or smoked in the back of a truck or something stupid like that. But, you know, I've lasted way longer than I thought, and it's really been awesome. So hopefully I get to continue more. But I'm feeling like I'm on borrowed time now. Last time I was driving down, I was like, man, I feel like I'm driving to my execution, man. I was like getting butterflies in the stomach. I was like, ugh, I wonder how this is going to happen for me today. But no, I guess I'm all right so far. We'll see. We shall see. So.
Me? No. Actually, a few months ago, I was up near 300 pounds. I just started a new workout routine, and someone, because also, not just doing the extras work when they don't need me on scene, at the time, I was almost the same size as Jerry from The Kingdom. So I would do photo double and stand-in work for him. And then one of my other buddies made a joke, what are you trying to do, transition from Jerry to Negan as a stand-in this season? No, it's just trying to be healthy.
Right here.
Too easy, main cast member.
Main cast member, as long as it wasn't Carl.
You know, I'd take a shot from Carl. I would.
Well, why? Is it because he's a kid?
No.
I mean,
I'm just
he's growing up.
There's just a joke that we have amongst each other. You're going to get killed by Carl. It's just.
Oh.
See, man, there are so many of them I'd be willing to get shot in the head by. I mean, Carol would be awesome. She has become one of my favorite characters. I mean, her evolution has been amazing to me. So yeah, Carol. Maybe I'll take back the Michonne thing.
Look at the flowers.
I will stare at them.
Look at the flowers.
But I want her in front of me. I want to see it coming. I don't want execution. I want to see it coming. I want to lean into it. Something like that, you know. What's that?
I'm actually scared of Carol now. You know, in season 1, you kind of want to take her under your wing and take care of her and, you know, shelter her. Now,
Oh, she is fully self-sustaining.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Don't want none. Yes.
Totally
Yes, 'cause
different.
she's not living in the comic anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, Yeah, that is true. It's been a while since I've read that, but I do remember that story arc.
She came extremely close to dying in the show. I think it was about a month before they filmed the episode where Lori and T-Dog die. Instead of T-Dog, it was going to be Carol. But at the last minute, they switched it, so Carol got to live and T-Dog died with Lori. At least that's what I've heard.
Interesting.
Any more questions? Right here, sir.
They're usually very accommodating.
I know it's a huge tourist spot now. Lots of people. Yeah, it's a cool little town. I mean, I go into shops and stuff, and I interact with people. So I mean, everybody's friendly. So I haven't heard anything as far as like them having any kind of negative attitude about it. So I mean, I don't know. I live 3 hours from there, so I'm road tripping in the middle of the night to get there for 5:45 call time. So I'm on the road by like 1 a.m. To make sure I don't run into any unforeseen circumstances. I'm paranoid that I'll like miss a call time, so I leave extra early. Anybody else? Been some good questions so far. Keep it rolling.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're good.
There's one character that made my daughter about ready to watch the movie die. Is there one that you can speak a little bit about if they died that makes you mad with all this stuff? Did you like that much?
It's all part of drama. It's all for the sake of it. And I mean, it's like that's the one reason I love the show Sons of Anarchy. They weren't afraid to kill off a loved character, and it made it more interesting because life ain't always sunshine and roses. It ain't. So I'd put in my application at Alexandria.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to take a knee anymore.
No more kneeling, just sharing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, before I was cast on the show, I was Team Rick all the way. So, and I mean, I love his comic book character, and I mean, even though I'm cast on the opposite side of the fence of him, I mean, I still think he's an amazing character. I wouldn't stop watching it if he died, although I would kind of have a hard time wrapping my head around it. It's like, okay, where's it going to now? Because he's been the main man for so long, So how would they evolve that story? You know what I mean? So I would be a little sad to see Rick go, to be honest with you. All right.
Yeah, I think we got another panel that's going to be in this room about 10 minutes. So we should probably start wrapping down.
Okay.
Thank you all both for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you all for listening to us and everything. I want to get a picture of y'all real quick, so hold still. Are y'all cool with that? Y'all cool
Picture?
with the picture?
Cool.
This is the biggest panel I've ever done, so I'm working my way up, baby steps. What's that?
Share that with me. While he's getting his camera ready, I have one more funny story about, how Norman and Andrew Lincoln are always pranking each other. they were moving us by shuttle to our set that day, and William pokes me. He said, "Look at that! Is that a sticker, or it's actually a giant decal on the front of Norman's pickup truck over the window, permanent now? That he had a tinting company come in, and on Norman's truck, Andrew Lincoln had wrote Andy's bitch." Which ties into, have any of you ever seen the glitter bomb incident where Norman filled his air conditioner with glitter? That was the retaliation from that, because no one really saw that he had taken a decal and covered the whole windshield of Norman's truck with, it said Andy's bitch on the front of it.
All right.
All right, thank you guys.
Everybody else with that?
Thank you.
All right.